Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, welcome back to another video. So we've had several clues over the past month or so as to when the new Battlefield game, Battlefield 6, whatever it ends up being called, is going to be revealed, and it may well be right around the corner. So in this video, we're going to cover everything we know about that, what all of the information points to, what dates are most likely for the reveal, and when the ultimate release date is probably going to be. As always, if you guys enjoy the content on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, plenty more to come on Battlefield in the future, and as always, thank you for your ongoing support. So the first clue we really got was in the latest EA earnings call where Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, he said this: backed by the largest Battlefield team in the history and grounded in community collaboration, we remain firmly on track for a fiscal year 26 release with a major global reveal later this summer. So summertime is quite a vague area. It could be June, it could be July, it could be August. Really any of those 3 months I would say is considered to be summer. But this being a pretty big announcement, we can only assume it's going to be at one of the larger gaming events. And the one that is closest to us right now is actually the Summer Games Fest. Now, just yesterday, Jeff Keighley, who is the host of this event, he posted this over on Twitter. He says, "We're proud to welcome a record-setting 60-plus partners for Summer Game Fest 2025, a global celebration of video games in Los Angeles this June." And if we take a look at the slide, there's a lot of exciting developers and publishers here, but you'll notice there is no EA, there is no DICE. However, it does also say round 1 at the top, as several people have pointed out. So it could be that there is a round 2 that we just haven't seen yet, and they may be somewhere on this list. Now, something else that's a little bit weird is this last weekend, most of you will know there was a Battlefield Labs 72-hour test where a lot of new people had the opportunity to try out the game. It was for a one-time only test scenario, so once they ended their test, they could no longer launch the game. However, when people tried to launch the game, they were met by this message, and it says, "Wait until the official release date, 17th of June 2025, or preload date," which is the same date there, "to install." And so, you know, this seems like a very weird date. Clearly, that's not going to be the release date of the game or the preload date. There is absolutely no shot, in my opinion, that DICE are just going to, like, shadow drop Battlefield 6, as some people have pointed out, because, I mean, just look at the Labs leaks, guys. The game is far from finished. That would be literally the worst decision that they could make on the game. However, could this be some sort of an Easter egg or leading us to some specific date where we are going to see a release date of the game? Maybe we're going to be able to pre-order the game from that point. Personally, I think this is just a coincidence. I don't know why this error message comes up there. I think it's just kind of like a randomized date, and this has no bearing whatsoever. But if this doesn't get shown off at the Summer Games Fest on the 6th of June, maybe then we want to be looking at this date of the 17th of July. Now, I reposted this slide here from Jeff Keighley over on Twitter saying that there's no DICE or there's no EA there. Maybe we won't then see a Battlefield reveal just yet, or they're keeping it a secret. And I think if it doesn't come to Summer Games Fest in a few days' time in June, there are a couple of other options. There is Gamescom in August. I think it's on the 19th of August, in fact, so they could go for a very late reveal. However, generally speaking, if DICE release a game in October or November of a said year, they typically like to give the first trailer and show off the game in May. And we're at the end of May now, so waiting all the way until August is exceptionally late for them. It's also very close to the release of the game, if it does indeed release in October or November, and everything points to the fact that it's going to. However, Westy also said here, Battlefield 1, 5, and 2042 all did their own separate reveals, so I expect this one will probably be the same. It means EA gets the entire spotlight, and it doesn't have to share it with any other games or publisher, and this could be in and around the Summer Games Fest. Often you'll have these large festivals where smaller publishers and smaller developers, they sort of pay for a small segment of the show to get their game shown off and encourage people to wishlist the game on Steam, maybe even pre-order the game and whatnot, and just tell people when the release date is going to be. But for much larger releases, they will often have their own show, and this could be before the Summer Games Fest, it could be after the Summer Games Fest. I know that like Xbox do the same thing, it could also be revealed there. So if that hasn't happened yet, it may just be yet to be announced. And so if we don't see EA and DICE at either of these Summer Games Fest slides, either in round 1 or round 2, it could still be around the same timing but they may just have their own show to really jump in depth. And if that is the case, that's actually going to be the most exciting scenario, because that means we're probably going to get some kind of a deep dive into what the next game is going to look like. And I think that would really make sense, because EA are acutely aware of the fact that everybody has seen the game already, right? Anybody who wants to see the game has already been looking at the leaks, but we haven't really gotten into the weeds with it. There are a lot of interesting things left to see, such as we know nothing about the campaign, we know really nothing about the Battle Royale. There's also this new game mode coming called Gauntlet, which is like a finals type game mode, like a tournament type mode. And then there's Portal as well, so there really is a lot of new information to wade into there. And I think it would definitely warrant them having their own show and doing some sort of a deep dive instead of just showing off a trailer, you know, a fancy trailer. We know DICE and EA are going to knock it out of the park in that regard. I think they should just show some gameplay and have one of those awesome events. Like, I remember one of the early Battlefield 4 reveal events. Well, it wasn't quite the reveal, but a little bit after that, they had a huge gameplay session with 64 developers, all of them on stage with 64 computers, and they did a live playthrough of a multiplayer match on Siege of Shanghai and showed off some of the new features like the Levolution and all that kind of stuff. So, like, that's the sort of thing I would like to see, some people actually playing the game maybe live on stage, or at the very least, maybe gameplay of the Battle Royale, a really deep dive into how things are going to work there. Needless to say, guys, when Summer Games Fest does come around, unless we've got new information on exactly when the date is going to be, I will be streaming that live here on the channel, just in case we get some super secret drop of Battlefield stuff. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you're subscribed and feel free to come out here and join me. Apologies for my voice today. I know it's not the best. I've been sick for like a couple of weeks. This thing is taking forever to leave my body, so hopefully that happens soon for your guys' sake as well as my own. Leave me your thoughts below. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed here. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, of course, and subscribe for more. And I'll see you all in the next video.
We are losing objective Charlie.
Granata partita! Tenete giù la testa! Lancio una granata, oh!
Return to the combat area.